Dustin, can I update everybody on the cat saga?
Go for it.
So what was the last thing we talked about on the show? Was just me longing for this cat, basically?
Yeah, I don't think we covered any of the live tweeting you were doing on our thread.
So to update everyone on the cat story, so yeah, there's whatever that was with whatever episode that was, we talked about it. So I progressed from feeding this cat and trying to figure out what its angle was. Well, what its angle was, how to get to it. What do you want?
What's your angle, cat?
Food,
affection, but not too much. Some.
So I started putting tuna cans out there, and I started buying Meow Mix and stuff, and putting out bowls. So then I progressed to buying a live trap, a metal contraption that had a spring-loaded snap trap
door.
Yeah, and that whole thing. And so I left it out there for a few days, let them get used to it being there. And then and then I put food out there, and then I was just trying to watch for them, basically. And so I think it was when we came home, my daughter and I went to go see Superman. So we came home, I was like, all right, let this begin. And so I just sat by the door and just watched as cats, came and approached and whatever, and nothing was going on. Tiptoes came to the cage a few times, never went in, ate near it, but never went in. I was like, oh no, is he too smart for this trap? And then, so this whole time I'm like texting you guys about all of this, like, here's what's going on. Here's pictures. Here's the cats that are showing up. I don't want these cats. And so then I'm like, does the spring even work? And finally one goes in there and it snaps shut, and I see it. I'm like, great. So I go out there, and he's like freaking out and flipping around and, throwing tuna. So I'm pulling the cage inside. I'm getting to my bathroom because that's where I'm going to keep them. And I open the thing up, and it's like runs. And then he starts jumping all over my counters and jumping on top of the light fixtures, on top of my mirrors. And I was like, oh shit, they're flipping my Q-tips everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ. And so I close it up. I'm like, all right, let's reload the trap. It was like fishing. I was like, all right, got one. Let's go. We reload it because it's like, I don't want these cats witnessing other cats getting captured and then getting scared of the cage. So I put it back out there. And so I'm like, every time I get near the cat that's up on my sink, it kind of starts like growling a little bit at me. I'm like, all right, so I can't get near him. Not going to try and touch him. And he's not the one I want anyway. I was just like, okay, so the trap works and bringing them to the bathroom works. Great. So I put it back and I wait a little longer. And then finally, I catch another one that's not Tiptoes. It's like this black and white one that is somewhat friendly, but no one's as friendly as Tiptoes. And so I pull the cage into the house. Same thing. Like, there's tuna all over my floor as I'm coming in. So I'm constantly having to clean up like tuna so my house doesn't smell like fish. And I put the cage down my bedroom. I open up my bathroom, and I open up the exterior doors from my bedroom to my backyard. And I'm like, go. And like, I open the bathroom door, and it doesn't hesitate. It like comes out, and it just comes out, and it's like, to the door, looking around. Okay. And leaves. I'm like, great. So I put the other one in the room. He does the same thing. He's trying to climb up high. He's doing all this stuff, whatever. He hides under like my towel rack. And I put the trap back out. I come back in. I'm checking him out. And so the difference with this one is like, I'm getting closer. He's not growling. He's not swatting, not hissing. And I put my hand like on his head, and he lets me. I was like, whoa. And so like, I'm petting it a little bit. I'm just like, okay.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Right. Hey buddy. And so that happens. Tiptoes never comes near it. And I'm like, okay. And it's getting late. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave the trap out overnight, put a towel over it, and we'll just, I'll check it in the morning. And so that one cat just stays in my bathroom. And so I got put food in there, I think. And then, I go to sleep or whatever. So I get up early the next morning, and I can see that the trap door is shut. So I'm like, okay. And I can see whatever's in there is kind of big. I was like, all right, it's not Tiptoes. It's one of the bigger cats. And so I go out there, and about 3 steps from it, and I see, and then I see eyes, and I hear like snarls. And I was like, oh, and it's a raccoon. And I was like, oh God. And so I go over.
I'll be your cat for more tuna.
I pick up the cage, and who knows how long he's been there. He's been there long enough to poop a bunch.
Sure.
which their poop looks like little berries. It's like, in case anyone wondered. And so I was like, all right, I got to let him go like right now. And so like I pick him up and he's heavy as shit. And but I have to hold it away from my body. And there's like a metal guard, like almost like a sword hand protector thing that like is around the handle so that wild animals can't scratch or bite you. Yeah. But he can get his hands pretty far through the through the things. And he's like reaching out, spreading. I'm looking at his claws. I'm like, good God. And he's like thrashing. And what he's also doing is somewhat escaping. There is the pin that's in the trap has been like loosened. And so like the little spring is gone or whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I gotta get to this. So I go to this ditch in my backyard. I put it down and then I go back to my garage and I look for like a chair or a stool. Like I'm a lion tamer. I'm like, okay, I got to protect myself. I go to the thingy and he's like, and while I was been gone, he's been trying to tunnel out of the cage. He got his hands through the things and moved them enough to rip up my yard and try to dig a hole. Yeah. And he's like, he's not like rabid, but he's definitely scared. He's like, I can see him like breathing, but he's being very quiet. He's going like, I was like, okay, if he charges me, he's absolutely going to do it before I even have time to react. So I hold the chair out. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to reach for the doors. And thankfully he just runs straight out or run into the ditch and back to like, his den or whatever. So I was like, God, thank God that's over. And so like I have to get a new towel. He ripped up like this beach towel I used and trying to get out, and it smells like him. So I'm like trying to get the trap all ready again. And so I explain all this, and my sister-in-law comes and visits that day. And so I'm telling her all of this, and just through talking to her, like research and everything, I was like, let me try during the day. And because the other cats there's too many cats that are competing for that food. And every time they've been around, they kind of bully Tiptoes away from it. And then when I come out to be like, hey, go away, they all run. Tiptoes doesn't run as far, but enough to go, maybe I don't feel comfortable coming here to eat. And so like all of my tactics are failing. So then, so I was like, I'm putting it out during the day because Tiptoes does show up during the day. I put it out during the day, most of the, from like 8 to 2, nothing's happening. My sister-in-law leaves. And then I read somewhere that's like, put it somewhere where he likes to go. And he likes to hang out by this tree, in this bush near my garage, but not at it. And so I put it up in there. And like every couple hours, I do a wide walk of the yard just to see if I can tell that the door is shut. It's not shut. I go out there about 4:30 to check one more time before I make dinner, and the door is shut. I walk closer and he's in there. I was like, yeah. So I go and I'm talking soft. I'm like, okay, buddy, it's okay. And he's like, kind of like, okay, what's going on? But like, I can't run. But no noises or aggression or anything. Yeah. So I go in, I put the thing in my room, and I do the thing where I open the bathroom door. I'm trying to get the other cat out, and I open the door and I'm like, go ahead. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like,
I don't trust you.
Just leave the bathroom. And like I move like the buckets and everything. And he's like, no. And so I come in like, okay. And so I start circling like around him. Like, I'm going to pretend like I'm trying to catch you and you need to run. So I start getting closer to him like this with my hands reaching out. And he's going like, he's like, huh, what? And he either like growls or hisses, but he does run. He's just like, okay. And he runs like I'm some sort of idiot. Like, you're not catching me, buddy. And I'm like, great, leave, cool. Please go. I wasn't even trying. Yeah. And he goes out and he runs under my bed, not to the door. I'm like, no, get out of the house. And then he approaches the door and like looks around like, what is this? Some sort of escape outside trick. And as soon as he steps outside and realizes it's not a trap, he fucking bolts. I'm like, great. So I put Tiptoes in the bathroom. He does the same thing, jumps on my lights, does all the stuff. So he lives in there, and that was like a Friday. So he lives in there from Friday through the weekend. And then it's like I got an appointment with a vet on Wednesday morning. So it's like, great. So he's just in there, and I'm able to approach him because he just sits on the countertop. So I'm able to approach him and pet him. He doesn't run or anything, but I pick him up a couple of times, put him down. He's fine. And so I would go in there every time I had to use the restroom or just wanted to visit. And then in the evenings, I'd go in there and like read to him like he's my son or something. And just to get him used to my voice and like, hey, I'm going to come in here and not bother you directly. Then one time I was like, I'm going to try and get closer. And so I sit up on the counter next to him and he doesn't move. And so then I'm able to start like petting him while I read. And that's when I learned that he likes the belly pets because then he rolls over. And so I start doing all that stuff and I start sending y'all videos like this is all working and it's fine. So then we get to Wednesday morning, which the appointment's at 8:00. And so I'm up at like 7 and everyone's ready. And I'm like going in there. And it's like, and so at this point I have allowed him out of the bathroom and into my bedroom. And so of course he's taking up residence under my bed and that's been all fine. And he's using like the litter box and stuff. And I was like, great. So I got to get him in this crate. So I go under there and I'm like, hey buddy. And so I'd start petting him and then I grab the scruff of his neck and I pull him out. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to put him in the thing. And as soon as I get him out from under the bed, then he hisses and wriggles free and runs into my bathroom. I was like, okay, so he's going back to like his first safe spot. So then I'm like, all right. And so like I go to the counter. I'm like, all right, buddy, I'm going to grab you and I'm just going to have to grab you and put you in. And I grab him and he wriggles around. And as I'm holding him harder, trying to keep him from moving, he starts scratching me a lot and he bites the fuck out of my thumb very hard. It is so painful that I almost pass out. I get nauseous and my body starts going cold and clammy. And I can't stop moaning in pain. Like he does that and then he tries to escape after he does it, but I've got the door shut and he's like looking at the door like, why'd you close that? And I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. And he goes under the towel rack and I was like, oh, and so my daughter's like, what's wrong? I'm like showing her my hands, like they're just dripping in blood. And she was like, Daddy, this is enough, or this is enough. And I was like,
I'm in this now.
I'm not missing. Like at this point, like I'm injured, like I have to do this. So then I remember she's like, Daddy, what about the gloves? And I was like, oh, the gloves. I bought these like heavy duty, like leather gardening gloves because it's the only thing I could overnight to get, I was like, okay, this is going to have to do. I try to put the gloves on. They're too small. It's like, fuck, I can't get these gloves on. And so then I squeeze them. Like I squeeze them past my knuckles and they're dragging all of my fresh wounds with them. Yeah. And so like I put the gloves on and I start bleeding through the gloves. And I was like, my God. Like, oh no. Yeah. So I was like, I gotta do this fast. So I put on like a sweatshirt. I got the gloves on and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna have to go in there and I'm just gonna have to suck it up and grab him. So I go in there and I put the carrier nose to the, cause at this point I'm like, I don't know how mean he's going to get. I thought we were cool. I thought I was just going to be able to pick him up and put him in there, which is with as much as he's been allowing me to touch him and everything. Yeah. And so I'm just like, okay, so of course my hands hurt a lot and I had to drink some water and like liquid IV to like regulate. Cause it wasn't doing well. I'm like Googling what to do. And it's like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, not yet. I have to make this appointment or this is all moot. Like if I can get him in the carrier, then he has to live in there until I get the next appointment. And that's not good for him. And I'm sure as shit not doing this again. Yep. And so I go in there and I'm like, all right. And I put the nose up to the towel rack and he's under there. And so I'm like getting my hand around and like I'm tapping his body, like trying to push him out from under there. Like go. And he's not hissing or biting. And he's not looking at me. He's just making himself heavy. Yeah. Like Kirby. He's just like, nope. Yep. So I can't get him out of there. So I picked the thing up. And so he runs behind the toilet. And I was like, well, I'm never gonna be able to get him there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to throw a towel on him. And I'm gonna have to, which is complicated because not only is that super aggressive and unmistakably like aggressive to an animal. Yeah. It's like, if you get the towel over them, you have to then scoop under them quickly where their mouth and claws are to close the gap and then put the towel into the thing. Yes. I was like, that's not happening. I threw a towel on him. He runs, he goes up behind the toilet and I was like, I'm just going to have to grab him with my hands in these gloves and my hands under this towel and just hope that there's enough layers to where at least he can't bite me deep again. Maybe he'll still bite and scratch and thrash, but I'm just gonna have to hold him and hope that I don't hurt him or like break his ribs by accident or something. Right. But I've got the thing on its back so that the top is facing out. Even though it's a top load thing, I was like, I'm gonna have better luck putting him in there deep enough. And So I grab his legs, and he doesn't bite, doesn't hiss. He just kind of slowly like moves away forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. So I put the nose up to this toilet's in like a corner. So I put the nose up between like the shower and the toilet, and it just fits enough to where it creates like a closed gap. Like if he is going anywhere, it's got to be forward, and hopefully he doesn't try to jump over the carrier. And then we're just going to do this over and over again. Cause this was my last idea. So I pretend to like start trying to pick him up. He stands up abruptly, walks forward, and just walks into the carrier just nonchalantly. I was like, you dick. I was like, so I shut the door. Right. I was just like, yeah. So that was what would have worked the whole time. Just, hey, here's a carrier. Like just corner him. Here's the carrier and go.
Yeah.
Or he was like, this is about to get really bad. I should probably get in like he figured out what I was trying to get him to do.
Yeah.
I shut the carrier, and then I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like looking at my hands, and I'm just like, oh. So I get him in the car. We take him to the vet. Show the vets my hands, and they're like, oh my God. And like, so I do all the stuff, and they give me like this chemical to wipe it with. Like, and I was like, well, I already kind of washed it and flushed it. And here's like the stuff they're going to give you urgent care, but you need to go to urgent care. So I fill out everything. I fill out the whole form. And while I'm still there, they're like, by the way, he is a neutered male. And I was like, oh, cool. All right. So at least I'm not having to pay or supervise a recovering vasectomy for this cat. And so I was like, great. I'm going to go get my hand looked at. But as soon as you can just please scan him for a microchip and tell me what's going on with that. I want to know as soon as you know, either way.
Yeah.
I don't want my phone to ring only if it's yes, because then it's just going to be a thing. So I go to urgent care. I'm filling out the thing. I'm waiting in the waiting room. They call me and they're like, he does not have a microchip. And I was like, oh,
great. Cool.
Great. Because if he had, this is all somewhat for nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I was like, great. This is great news. My thumb's like completely numb. And I'm like, okay. I go into the thing. They look at my wounds. I found out when my last tetanus shot was because I couldn't remember. And they said, you got one 2 years ago. And I looked at the dates. That's when the dog bit me.
Oh, yeah.
So when I got bitten by that dog, I went and got a tetanus shot. So I've still got 8 years left for other animals to bite me.
Yeah.
So
love that. That's great.
And so I asked them like, what was I feeling after he bit me? Was that any sort of like, obviously it's not like venom, but like, cat venom. Like what was that indicative of anything but a pain response? And they said, it's just a pain response, just a vasovagal pain response. And I told you, maybe all of you guys, or maybe just Callum, but I was like, it's good to know that if I'm ever like seriously injured, the first thing I'm going to do is throw up all over.
Yeah.
I'll just vomit all over my wounds.
Yes.
Give myself sepsis.
Yep.
So I was like, great. So they're like, okay, we can't, normally this is the kind of wound that requires stitches, but since it's a cat bite, we can't suture it. It's like, why not? And they're like, because with those, it just makes the bacteria fester more, basically. I was like, just with cat bites? Like if I got attacked by a bear, you could suture it, but this cat is so.
Wow.
Whatever. So, okay. So I have to leave this wound that is on the flex point of my inner thumb on my dominant hand, put this stuff on it, and take these pills and just wait for it to close without any suture assistance.
Yeah.
I was like, great. So I go home, we pick up the cat after it's done, and I let him out of the room. He goes under the bed, and my bed has like a big gap between the mattress and the wall because of the tiny shelf that's part of my headboard. So he's sleeping right by the wall at the edge of that. So I reach my hand down. I'm like, all right, fucking here it goes. And just start doing the little petting, and he's fine. Wraps over, lays on his stomach. He's not pissed at me at all.
Yep. He doesn't care.
So I'm just like, what is this? And I come to learn like, essentially like you guys this is all good. This means like you're still his person. You flipped a switch in him when you tried to subdue him. Yeah. And his survival response kicked in. Like cats don't like, they don't harbor like lingering like mistrust in that sense. Yeah. Now sure. I can go under the bed before. I've gone under the bed before to pet him more directly, but I have to do it slowly. If I put my hand down there and he's like in a good mood, I pet him. But he does not like come out and hang out with me right now. So, but he's my cat. I got him microchipped. So now he belongs to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives under my bed. And now at night, he is allowed to explore the house. So I have a litter box set up in my bedroom next to the French doors that I now keep open so that because the first night they were closed and he tried to climb up my French doors. He did. He climbed up the window panes and balanced on them so he could be up high and look outside. Wow. But he kept falling. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And he looks over at me and I was like, I literally went, hey, stop, a couple of times. And like, he's like, he's crawled up like my love seat. He was just like, oh, my bad. I was like, he probably wants to look outside. So I kept the curtains open. I was like, I can't have you bring my curtain rods down or scratching and breaking my windows. And so he's never tried to climb up there again. So I think it was just, oh, there's curtains covering the windows. I'm going to go inside them. Oh, I may as well go higher. And now he's like, I don't need to do that.
This cat just sounds like a roommate that's on meth.
Kind of.
He's just tweaking all the time.
The first night he was out, he pooped on this red couch behind me. And I had to go research that. And it was pretty much like, I was like, does this cat hate me? And I was like, no, it doesn't. It walked a long way from your bedroom, probably had to poop, and it was scared to try to approach its space again. And this is a soft place. So I had to strip the couch and go machine wash it. I found out you have to put another litter box out. So I made a makeshift second litter box from the little cardboard pallet that carries all of these Kirkland sparkling waters. I lined that with a garbage can and I filled it up with litter. And so that's next to this desk. And so he has pooped in it like 3 nights in a row and the one in my bedroom, and not on my furniture. Cause I started putting treats everywhere to teach him like, this is where food might be. Don't do that here. And it's pretty much worked. I just got a new rug. And so I'm like, please don't, and putting treats all over that. So it's been going well. The kids' doors stay shut at night. So he goes from my room to out here and he just looks around. And then he comes, when sun starts coming up, he's like, all right, time to go. And he goes back to under the bed. Like he never left, but
a vampire. So it's a meth vampire,
basically a vampire. But I see his poop and pee in the litter boxes. And I'm like, great. Like you use the thing.
Yep.
Right. So that's all good. And so now the name of the game is essentially just wait and he'll start doing more things incrementally, basically.
Yeah.
So I go in there several times a day and give him like 10 minutes of just straight petting and and he's now started to let me pet him while he eats. Although this is all still under the bed. He won't do it next to me, like next to him, but he knows that like, if there's a barrier between us, he's fine with me touching him.
Yeah.
And he'll eat and let me do that while I pet him. And then the last night I was reading in bed and the lights were on in my room and everything, but I was quiet enough and he comes out from under the bed and I'm just like, it's weird because he's approaching the litter box. And so I just went, hey, and he kind of turns and looks at me like, oh, what are you going to do? And I was like, nothing. And I'm just still. I'm just like, I'm just going to keep reading. And so I'm just stay still. I look at the book like, I don't care what you're doing. And he goes over to the litter box and he simultaneously pees and cranes his head outside. Like, what's going on out there? And then I tried to throw him a treat and he runs back under the bed, but it was a big milestone. Like, oh, he felt comfortable coming out,
Yep.
So just a lot of good belly trusting. He does a lot of head bumping my hand when I'm down there. Like, keep going. And today, and he just does stuff like I'll rub his belly and he'll wrap his limbs around me. Like he'll curl his body around my arm like a face hugger. And then today when I was doing it, he reached over right within reach and grabbed one of the toys I keep throwing him. He's never played with. And he reached it. It was like, oh, started looking at it like, what is this?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But just, closing his eyes and rubbing his body around, just enjoying himself. And I was like, all right, we are progressing. I wish that you would come out so I could do this without having to reach under my own bed.
Yeah. Right.
But at the same time, it's fine. Like that's what he needs. And so that's where we're at right now. So
got it.
Anyways,
the saga of tiptoes.
The saga of tiptoes. So he is, so he doesn't have a collar or anything. I'm not going to try that right now.
Yep.
not that I think it'll go. Again, he's got to come out. It's gonna be a while. So I have to bring him back to the vet in like a year to get another like rabies shot or something. But hopefully by then we trust each other.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just gonna have to get rabies.
I'm gonna give it to you.
It's going well. So allergies have been okay. Sweet. As long as I'm smart and I like wash my hand after I pet him. When the first couple of nights when he moved around constantly and like kept falling and kicking up dust and stuff, like one morning I did wake up with like pretty dry eyes. I couldn't tell if it was from the dust or whatever, but then like I vacuumed the entire room, including under the bed where he was, and he barely moved and was like, oh, okay. But I got the dust up, all the cat hair that had fallen, and I washed my sheets, and then everything was fine. I bought we started using the eye mask partially because to block residue from reaching my eyes as I sleep. But I don't have to. Like, I don't do that every night. I don't wake up every morning and do nasal spray. I just take my Allegra every day like I have been, and it's been fine. It's like, as long as I don't do something stupid like pet him and then just like go to town on my eyes.
Help. Yeah.
Right. The same reason you wouldn't do that with soap still on your hands.
Right.
So
correct.
But I haven't had to do anything crazy like when I was a child and I had to like completely decontaminate in order to go from being downstairs and or petting my animals to having a successful and happy evening upstairs. So,
yeah. Right.
So yeah, it's been good.
Sweet.
It's good. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, most of it.
Except for the injury. So one of the things he did is he bit through this tattoo on my hand.
Oh yeah.
And so I sent the picture to my artist. I was like, I'm going to need a touch up when I come in September.
Yep.
But I don't wear a bandage on this during the day, like unless I go somewhere. Like I'm going to put the bandage on later after I apply the goop to it. Like I'm supposed to, but like in the morning, like I take it off and I let it dry out and I just see what I can do with it. And now I can crack my thumb, like, cause before any little movement was just yanking it and whatever the tendons or whatever under it was just too sensitive. Yeah. And so now it's okay. So it's still numb on the wound itself. The thumb is okay. There's no spreading redness or numbness and it, loss of function or anything.
Sure.
It's just still numb under
just
there.
Numb. Yeah.
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 I imagine it will be until it closes up completely and heals internally.
For sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know.
Well, okay. Well, Tiptoes is your cat now.
I'll always remember him.
That's right. I have a small scar on my palm. Well, on the like fleshy part here on the back of my hand. Yeah. And it's from the German Shepherd that I got shortly after we graduated from college. When she was teething, she bit. And bit a little too hard. Well, she didn't even bite. Like, she bit, but it was more like that it just scraped as she moved her head. Yeah. And it cut me. And it was so thin because those puppy teeth are so sharp. Yeah. It's such a small wound that it scarred over for whatever reason. So I have that. So I always remember you because of this the scar on my hand.
I've got scars on my hands. I don't even know where they came from. Yeah. Like I have one on my hand here that I'm pretty sure happened because of a door opening on my hand against a brick, like digging into that's how I remember it happening. But I have like a couple of things where I don't know what they are. And like I've got a broken pinky, like a permanently broken pinky. You do? Yeah. I had that I've had that since high school. I don't remember having this explained to me. Yeah. So if you look, right, normal pinky, broken pinky, it won't go straight. Yeah. It's constantly broken. So inside there's not at this knuckle bend, but the second one, so what happened was I got kicked in the finger. And so those two bones hit and splintered. And so now there's a small piece of bone in between the two. Yeah. And so you can have surgery to get it removed. Sure. But the way it was explained to me was like hand surgery is always a risk. So we can get in there and pull it out, but we do want you to know it's a risk that we might rip out your other stuff.
You may lose some mobility, or like if we tear tendon or something, you could have some permanent nerve damage and that kind of thing, which is also not that big of a deal, but it's also not a big deal just to have this as is. Every now and then when it gets cold, it hurts a little, but it's fine.
I was going to ask you if it hurt. Yeah.
Every now and then, but not often.
Hey, Oliver, can you go to sleep, buddy? Well, speaking of all of this adventures, you may say that my love for Tiptoes is blind. Oh, hey, Love is Blind is a show on Netflix that I recently, well, I got to be honest, I haven't been watching it since we did this review, but that I watched and that I enjoyed. And so I wanted to spread the good news. So please enjoy Love is Blind, and Oliver will go enjoy his bed.
When the doors opened and I saw him, I thought, he's so familiar to me. I believe he knew exactly what I looked like the entire time we were talking through the wall.
I think half of us could leave her engaged. Hunger Games, baby.
Dating in the pods is crazy, okay?
I'm 30.
So you're no longer attractive?
Oh my God.
My sister was born blind. She just loves people without seeing them. If I could just be a little bit like her, that'd be cool.
I can't wait to tell my boyfriend to break up with his girlfriend.
She's trying to date the person that I want to marry. That sucks.
I'm on my knees.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Will you marry me?
Absolutely.
This is insane. I think I'm probably the luckiest person on the whole world.
He's not your type. That's the whole point of this.
There's this girl on TikTok. She's crying. I need you to tell me everything.
She had a boyfriend going into this.
He's a huge liar. Apparently there was a girl all over him.
Did you block her?
I did.
Oh.
The guy lives in the freaking building that we moved into.
Why do you need a prenup?
It's a big decision.
Oh God, I can't deal with this for the rest of my life.
Get me out of here.
So Love is Blind is a reality show. It's on Netflix. It's got 8 seasons. The whole concept of the show is these people, the boys are on one side, girls are on another side, and they meet in these pods, these little secret rooms with a partition in the middle, and they can't see each other. They can only hear each other, and they speed date and rotate until they find people they match with better, and then they date those people for longer. And the whole concept is after these 10 days, 30-ish hours of knowing this person, they propose. And once they propose to them, then they meet. And after everyone who's going to do that does that, then we move on to like a vacation phase where like they all go to like some exotic location. And so then there's like, oh, how they like traveling together? Who's, what's the physical intimacy like, and a couple other like social things. And then they get them back into like society. They get their phones back. And they put them all up in this like same apartment building. And so now it's like living together all up until they actually get married. And that's Love is Blind. This is an addicting show. In the early episodes, it's truly amazing to see these people kind of meet and connect and open up and support each other and find acceptance, and a lot of them are like, oh, I'd never thought I'd meet somebody like that. Like, I never thought that this could work. Or I was skeptical. So there's a lot of people who, by the time you get to the wedding episodes, which are always like the second to last, third to last episodes of the season, that's where the show becomes reality, and where a shocking amount of couples walk off the altar for reasons that you may not have seen coming as a viewer, either because or you do see them coming, some you don't, because they may have occurred off camera. And then the stuff you do see coming is issues if you've seen them kind of not get over this whole time. And then the very last episode was a reunion episode, and it's like, okay, it's a year later. They film this way in advance. They give them all a chance to watch the show up until then, and then they bring them for a reunion, and then let's talk about stuff. And they basically bring back everyone who is involved in whatever issues they want to litigate. And that was a little bit depressing and uncomfortable. and kind of a downer compared to the rest of the season where it's pretty like hopeful and sweet in a way. And you're kind of with them, like their families are like, oh, you've known each other just for such a short, but I feel like I've known them forever. And it's like this whole, it's kind of sweet because you're like, it is weird, but they have a genuine connection and it's not based on looks or presuppositions or assumptions. And, so yeah, there's stuff to, I mean, like this show's crazy. Let me read this to you. Production, we got a minute. Production in the pods takes place in a 68,000 square foot studio documented by 81 cameras. Participants begin with 10-minute speed dates, which lengthen each day. As the process continues, the participants can choose to date for hours on end, sometimes until 3 a.m. Members of the production team listen on headsets, but do not interfere with the dates. Participants relay who they'd like to date. And then executive producer and creator Chris Colin and executive producer Ali Simpson use a formula inspired by the Gail Shapley algorithm to find a dating schedule in which everyone has matches. For the first 4 seasons, Colin and Simpson organized the data by hand, but in subsequent seasons, they utilized computer software. So it's like a pretty curated process and pretty, hands-on in that way. I would watch more of this show. It's not like I'm like, oh, well, but it truly reminds you that people are people and people miscommunicate. They twist the truth. They connive. They care deeply, but they deflect and they reveal their maturity or immaturity ultimately. But I was also proud of some of these couples for taking the stands that they did. There's a lot of times where, someone would say no and you'd be like, why? And then they would explain off camera. And so, like I said, sometimes it's like stuff that you just weren't aware of because they didn't film it. It didn't occur on camera. So you feel a little like cheated, but then you're like, well, this is a real person. They're entitled to their privacy.
Right. Sure.
And whatever. And they can't possibly document every single conversation these people had, especially over text or anything or phone calls. So, but then there were some stands that were like very insightful that like, I didn't pick up on, like this happened and this happened. And I just really need this. But then when I asked him, he did this. And I was like, it was like in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, it was like, well, I didn't know all that. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
So if you're interested in human behavior, it's worth it.
Sure.
It's solid garbage to watch with your partner and to pause and have discussions about. But in a vacuum, I have to say it can be an exhausting experience.
Sure.
Because you're just watching the same kind of cycles happen.
Sure.
Me personally, I'm now like, okay, when's this going to fall apart? Like I had hope before. Now it's like dread.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. So I don't think it really quite stuck the landing, but I'm not sure how I expect how I expect a reality show to end. Cause it's like, yeah, people are people. Like,
right.
This is a quirky experiment after all. Like it's bound to have problems and it's bound to be, not broadly applicable.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the trashiest thing I've ever watched. And I say that not as a insult. It's just, well, that's not true. I watched the Jersey Shore when we were in college. So so this isn't that. I feel like these are better.
Sure.
But
it has more merit.
It's got that je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like producer driven garbage that most reality shows are, where they feed you stuff. It's like, it's just regular human relationship drama,
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, well, that's Love is Blind.
Allow me to live write a Family Guy cutaway. Man, this is worse than that time I was on Love is Deaf. Well, you're very pretty. What?
I was thinking you were going to go with that was even worse than the time I was on Love is Blind, and they just like, hey, welcome to the show, Peter. oh my God. Oh my God. My eyes.
That's probably more on brand at this point.
Well,
with the show,
probably
sure.
what would have happened would be a drawn out Helen Keller joke. Like, sorry, can I get someone else?
Can I get somebody else?
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I'm so sorry.
I'll take her. Giggity giggity.
Giggity giggity goo. We've just written an episode for them. You're welcome, Fox.
Yeah.
All right.
Just change my name to Dustin Shutta Drubba Jong or whatever that guy's name is. You know what I'm talking about?
That was a deep pull.
that was a deep pull straight from 2004.
Hey, do you remember this writer's name from the opening credits of this show?
that seemingly got longer every time. I have to look this up now because that was a thing.
Every single time I saw his name, I was like, they're fucking with me. This is a typo.
Yeah.
Chernofields. What is it?
No, I feel really bad now. It's a real name. I'm sorry.
No, it's definitely a real name.
I thought it was a joke.
No, it's definitely not.
I thought it got longer every time. I thought that was the point.
No, you just felt like it did. No,
I just felt,
no.
oh my gosh,
No.
I feel awful now.
No, you didn't know that was a real person?
No, I thought it was a joke.
They just wasted valuable screen time putting that credit on there.
I thought,
what a subtle joke for such an unsubtle show.
Oh.
All right, what's his name?
Her name is Cherry Cheva Prava Drumrong.
It's a woman?
It's a woman.
See, now I feel bad. I assumed it was a man.
Well, women can write too. Women can be funny, Hooper.
Shut up. You didn't even know she was real.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cherry. I didn't know you were real. I would never have made fun of your God-given name.
I think it's best we move on from that. Goodbye, everybody. It's a woman?